In my early 20s as a multipotentialite, I was obsessed with finding and following my passion. And it was exactly the reason why I was broke and poor. And even though I did everything right, I worked hard, I followed my passion, I followed the advice, I still wasn't making money with anything that was supposedly my passion. And it took me a few years to understand that that is actually the worst advice someone can actually give you. And what I need to change and do instead to actually start to make money with something that I'm interested in. Okay, so in my early 20s, I was obsessed with meditation. And I have gotten into it around like 2017 or so, when I was like in my early 20s, like 2021 or so. And I just fallen in love with it. It was my passion. I can't say it any other way. And back in the day, I still had this worldview and this belief that I need to follow my passion and suddenly all my life troubles will go away and everything will be just perfect and I make money with it. So I actually did. I tried doing this and I went to a few meditation retreats in Thailand and I've gotten really deep into it. I did my meditation teacher training and all this different stuff. And I was convinced, okay, I love meditation, so I need to teach this. I need to share this with the world. It's my purpose and my passion. And I ended up starting a coaching business around that thing. And I had the offer that I would help people become more relaxed and stress-free in like 90 days or so, or like 8 weeks. And they were to pay me, like in the beginning it was for free. Then I charged like 1,000 or like 1.5, but it didn't get any further than that, as you will see in the story. And I was really energized actually when I started. I made YouTube videos, I started a channel around this coaching program. You can see here like meditation, like guided meditation, all this different stuff like negative emotions, how you make peace with yourself. I've gotten a few views, couple, okay? And I was posting on Facebook, I was posting on Instagram, I was everywhere. I was onto something. But the thing is, after 6 months or even longer than that of posting consistently, working on this, I had mentors helping me with this stuff. I have gotten nothing. Nobody actually wanted my meditation coaching. And this had multiple reasons, but the main reason is, and why following your passion is bad advice, I was just focused on myself. I thought in my head, like, hey, I love meditation, so everybody else should love it and should do it, so I'm just going to sell that. But it didn't occur to my mind in that time that people actually don't want to buy meditation programs. They don't want to do work. What they want is they want to feel less stressed and stuff like this, but the way I was packaging it and the way I was selling it, nobody wanted it. But since I was so obsessed with following my passion and doing what I feel like is the right thing to do, what I'm so in love with, I didn't listen to any of the feedback from the market. Even though my mentors were telling me I need to change my offers, like the customers were obviously, or the market was telling me that this doesn't work and nobody wants this, I wasn't willing to change it. I was kind of going and continuously going down that route, even though nobody wanted what I fell in love with. And that is one of the big reasons that then ended up changing, because I understood there, like, hey, if I just do what I love, then it's cool for me to have it as a hobby, but it doesn't mean that the market wants it and people want to actually pay me money for this stuff. And later on, I actually changed it around and I saw that people actually come to me and they buy marketing stuff. That was the first thing that I ever sold. My first client, he approached me on a conference I was at and he was like, hey, do you want to do my marketing for me? And I pay you for it per month. And people kept buying this stuff from me, but I was so blind and so focused on following my passion that I didn't see where money was actually coming from. And I was like, no, I need to do this. This is my passion. I need to sell this even though nobody wants to buy it. And later on, I actually changed this around and I was like, well, I'm interested in doing marketing. I like it in a way. It's not my highest purpose. It's not my ultimate passion, but that's okay. I can have my passion as a hobby or something else. It doesn't need to be my business thing. But this thing is useful and people buy it and people pay me money for it. So I might as well just focus on this and do that. And I did for many, many years and still do it to this day. I manage, as you can see here, those are like 800 of a few clients, but I manage more than 30 clients and more than 7 figures on ad spend and stuff like this on Meta. And I became really good at it. And even though it was not my highest passion, it was just useful. People bought it. It brought them value. And I liked it in a way. I was interested in it. And that was one of the biggest lessons I had to understand. If you just focus on following your passion, you're just focused on yourself. And obviously, people don't pay you because you love it. It's not how the world works. People only pay you for something they find valuable. And they only find it valuable if it gives them something they want. But just because I love meditation and I'm really obsessed with meditation and stuff like this, it doesn't mean that people actually find this valuable. And because I was so focused on myself, I didn't listen to what people actually wanted. And everything changed when I dropped this idea of like just passion and was like, okay, what am I interested in? Okay, in marketing and business and stuff like this, people seem to buy it. So there's something there. And I just went there and I asked them like, hey, without any feelings from me, any passion, like, what do you guys want? Like, what do you find valuable? What can I get? Like, if I had a service that I was selling to you, like, what would make this like extremely valuable to you? And where you say like, hey, let me just buy this. And because I was listening to the market and not so focused on myself, they actually told me what to build. And then I was just doing that stuff. And that obviously brought money. So that is a big lesson. If you just follow your passion, you're just obsessed about you and you become very self-centered, but the market doesn't care about you. The market cares about your value and what you can deliver and what results you can give to people. And in order to do this, you have to get out of your mind and stop focusing on yourself so much and focus on other people. But you won't do this if you just focus on your passion. Okay? That was the first thing. The second thing is that, and that's an interesting one, you think that if you do follow your passion, like I did with my meditation coaching right here, that suddenly all your troubles will go away and life will be just bliss and perfect and you're going to feel fulfilled until eternity. As well, this is not the truth. What I realized as well with my meditation coaching, in the beginning, before I started, I loved to meditate. I meditated for like 2 hours a day. And again, I went on these silent retreats for like 7 days where you meditate for 12 hours and you don't talk. And I loved it. The thing is, once I started with the meditation coaching and then I had a Facebook group and I was doing like free meditation sessions that I was offering to people to get like testimonials and stuff. And then I actually landed 2 clients, which were referrals from another guy. So I didn't really acquire them cold. And I did meditations with them. I recorded them for them, built like this small like training program in a way. And over time, I actually started to kind of hate meditating. And I went from 2 hours meditation every day to like 10 minutes. And then months after I stopped this, I didn't meditate at all for like at least a good 6 months, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes here and there. But overall, I didn't meditate compared to what I was doing before. And the thing is, I actually started to kind of not like it. And again, it took me a few years to actually come back to it. I meditate now at 30 minutes a day, but for a long time I didn't because I was so sick of it. I was just so sick of it, and it kind of ruined this love and passion for me in a way. Because what you need to understand, and what I had to understand as well, if, for example, you love meditation, and this is what I did, it's okay if I just meditate for myself and with my girlfriend or so, that because then it's just about the meditation. But once it's about me making money with my passion, meditation, it's not about just meditation anymore. It's also about bookkeeping, okay? It's also about getting clients. It's about sales. It's about marketing. It's about systems. It's about building training programs and products. It's about managing. Maybe you'll need to hire some people. It's about personal branding. There are so many different things that just end up making this pure love that I had before for this thing. They just kind of ruin it because you're all over the place And it's not about meditation anymore. It's about all these other things. And because of it, you actually start to learn to hate it in a way. Maybe it's not that extreme for you, but it was for me. And it was kind of sad because I had this love and this passion for it, and then it kind of ruined it because I was forcing myself to make money with something that I was so passionate about, and it's not what you think it is. It sounds very novel, it sounds very cool, but at the end of the day, you probably just won't like it anymore if you do it as a business thing. And the third thing is actually that following your passion is actually kind of an excuse. I remember before I started doing this, I did like a ton of different other things. I started an e-com store, which I think I have some images right there. I started an e-com store where I was like trying to sell like Hawaiian shirts because I love them. Obviously, nobody ever bought them. I tried Amazon FBA and we sold some fitness shakers. They didn't sell at all. I was really into fitness and I thought that it's a good product, but it had some other flaws. It wasn't so much about passion there. But with the other things, like also the DJing, I loved DJing as well, and it was kind of my passion, and I did it in a few clubs. But the thing is that in both times, like the e-com and the DJing and stuff like this, and even with the meditation coaching, I used it as an excuse that when things get hard, that it's just not my passion. And for example, you try something, again, I tried my e-com store with my Hawaiian shirts, and I thought like, well, this is my passion. But then suddenly one day I started to not feel it. I was not as motivated. I didn't work 12 hours a day anymore as I did in the first week, as every multipotentialite does. And then I quickly came to the conclusion and used it as an excuse to not push myself and to not be a little bit more uncomfortable and be like, this is not really my passion. I don't really want it. So it's okay for me to quit and to do something else and to move into a different direction. And obviously this is not productive at all because, again, with the agency and this stuff here, there were so many days where I didn't feel it, where I didn't want to do it, where I wasn't feeling any kind of passion or whatsoever. And in a way, it was really boring as well. But it has to be that way because, again, there is nothing that is always giving you pleasure and always feeling good and stuff like this. There just isn't. There will always be some parts that you don't like, that you don't want to do. And again, when you start a business and you want to make money with something, there are so many different other things you have to do as well, as I explained earlier. Obviously, there's stuff that I don't like to do. I don't like tax and bookkeeping. I don't like building systems so much. I don't like managing people at all. And still, these things have to be done in some way or another. And if I were to just focus on my passion, then obviously I would be extremely reckless and delusional, because it's not just about writing copies and making some pretty pictures and graphics and stuff like this, or doing some marketing videos. There's also the media buying part in like the agency thing, or the funnel building, or the tech. And you can outsource a lot of these things, but you have to do it in some way, and you have to at least learn it a little bit. And only by not focusing so much on your passion, you can actually say like, well, it's okay. It doesn't have to be fun all the time. It's okay if it sucks sometimes, and I can just do it. And if it's overall something I'm interested in and aligns with my goals and my values, then this is fine. Okay. So those were the main 3 things that I believe are the reason why following your passion as a multipotentialite is not good advice and keeps you actually poor. So what to do instead? In my opinion, the best way to actually turn this around and to not follow so much your passion and to just focus on yourself is, number 1, to focus on your values. So what you want to do, and what I did as well, is if you want to decide what to do and what to make money with, Okay, it's a big decision what kind of business you want to get into, and you also want to take some time, and you don't want to do the thing where you see something over a weekend on YouTube and then on Monday you start and you get obsessed with it. Don't do that. Give yourself some time and be more thoughtful about it. So for example, I would actually sit down and I would find out what are my values, what are my personal mission statements and stuff like this, and find out who you are and what you stand for, essentially. But values is like, I feel like this very tangible, and you can grab it if you know like your top 3 to 5 values or so. Once you have these values and you figure out what you want, like what's your goal long term, and then you can take a look at the marketplace or like all the interests you have, and you just make a mind map and you write down all the different options and interests you have that you could potentially make money with. So maybe it's a coaching business, maybe you could get a job as a graphic designer, maybe you could start being a writer, maybe you could start a podcast, maybe you could start a Substack, maybe you can start working for your dad if he has a business, maybe you can go to college again or study something different. All these different things, okay? You write them just down. And you don't take into consideration what your passion is, or you look at these things, oh, is this my passion? Is this my passion? This is so unproductive. What you want to actually do is then look at your values and look at the things and see which ones are actually aligning the most with your values. And everything that is not, you just immediately cross off, because you're just going to quit it anyway because it doesn't feel meaningful to you. Second thing is, you want to look at your goals. Which of these things will actually get you to your goals? Because, for example, if you write down, those are your goals, this is where you are right now, you want to pick something that will actually get you there. If your goal is to, I don't know, be a digital nomad and sit in Bali, then maybe going to college is not the right thing for you to do. If that's the goal. Maybe then, I don't know, working as a remote closer, or if you maybe you can write, or maybe you study journalism and you can write like content pieces and SEO for businesses. You could do that online, or you did some coding thing, okay? And again, everything that doesn't align with those goals, just cross this out again. And you're probably going to be left with like 2-3 things, maybe. I would assume it's not more. And what you do now is you let it sit for a while and marinate. And after a while, you're just going to continue to come back to it, and you add and cross off a few things. And over time, the thing you want to actually do and pursue will stand out. I'm pretty sure. And especially if it aligns with your values and you keep thinking about this and you give yourself some time and space, no need to rush. And you just let it sit. And after like, I don't know, a week, maybe a month, maybe 3 months, the thing you actually want to do, and that is aligned with your goals and your values, it will just stare in your face. It will just be so obvious, and you just need to try this. And once you find this thing, then you actually start to get going, okay? And this is pretty much it.